Hello, dear students. Welcome to another lesson in psycholinguistics. This is the lesson number 12, which is going to be about memory. So, memory basically is the term given to the structures and processes involved in the storage and subsequent retrieval of information. Okay, memory is essential to all our lives. So, without memory of the past, we cannot operate in the present or think about the future. We will not be able to remember what we did yesterday, what we have done today, or what we plan to do tomorrow. So, without memory, we could not learn anything. So, basically, memory is involved in processing vast amounts of information. This information takes many different forms. So we store information in the form of images, sounds, or meaning. For psychologists, the term memory covers three important aspects of the information processing. These are encoding, storage, and retrieval. We're going to see each one of them. So memory encoding, when information comes into our memory system from sensory input, of course, it needs to be changed into a form that the system can cope with so that it can be stored. Okay, so every day we hear information and we say information uh, written, or we either hear it that is verbal or written. So this information needs to be changed into a certain form so that it can be stored. So there are three main ways in which information can be encoded, that is changed. Either visual, okay, in form of pictures. We have acoustic, that is in the form of sounds, okay, verbal. And then we have semantics, that is in the form of meaning. So for example, how do you remember a telephone number you have looked up in the phone book? If you can see it, then you are using visual coding. So when you see mobile phone that is written in your phone book, that's you remember that, or you store that information, the phone number, in the form of visual. Okay, so you code it visually. But if you are repeating it to yourself, so you repeat it to remember it, you are using acoustic coding. So you repeat it, so that's sounds. So when you repeat it over and over, there you are using acoustic coding. Evidence suggests that this is the principal coding system in short-term memory, STM, is acoustic coding. So when a person is presented with a list of numbers and letters, they will try to hold them in short-term memory by rehearsing them. So when you rehearse something verbally, that's that is you store the information in short-term memory. The principal encoding system is long-term in long-term memory, LTM, appears to be semantic coding by meaning. So, however, information in long-term memory can also be coded both visually and acoustically. Now, storage. This concerns the nature of memory stores. Example, where the information is stored, how long the term lasts for, etc. So the duration, how much can be stored at any time, the capacity of information that can be stored, and what kind of information is held. So the way we store information affects the way we retrieve it. There has been a significant amount of research regarding the differences between short-term memory and long-term memory. So most adults can store between 5 and 9 items in their short memory. Miller, 1956, puts this idea forward. He called it the magic number 7. The magic number 7. So he thought that short-term memory capacity was 7 plus or minus 2, etc. items, because it only had a certain number of slots in which items could be stored. However, Miller did not specify the amount of information that can be held in each slot. Indeed, if we can check information, for example, together, we can store a lot more information in our short-term memory. In contrast, the capacity of long-term memory is thought to be unlimited. You see, so the short-term memory is limited. You only are able to store a very short, number, or a very small number of items. However, long-term memory is unlimited. Information can only be stored for a brief duration in short-term memory, like 30 seconds, up to 30 seconds. But in long-term memory, it can be, long-term memory can last a lifetime. So that is until that. And then we have retrieval. So how we retrieve information from the memory. This refers to getting information out of storage. If we can't remember something, it may be because we are unable to retrieve it. When we are asked to retrieve something from memory, the difference between short-term memory and long-term memory become very clear. So that is, short-term memory is stored and retrieved sequentially. So in short-term memory, you can store and retrieve information sequentially. For example, if a group of participants are given a list of words to remember and then asked to recall the fourth words on the list, participants go through the list in the order they heard it and in order, okay, to retrieve the information. But long-term memory is stored and retrieved by association. So we have this association. This is why you can remember what you went upstairs for if you go back to the room where you first thought about it. Sometimes, for example, uh, you want to go upstairs to bring something. Okay, let's say you are downstairs, so you go upstairs to bring something, but when you get to the second floor, you forget why you're there. So to remember what you're there for, you have to go back. You just going back where you were, that would trigger your memory again, and then you retrieve the information. Then you remember why you are there for. So organized information can help in retrieval. You can organize information in sequences, such as alphabetical. Okay, so you organize information in terms of alphabets or size or time. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope this video is very beneficial, and see you in the next video.